If a man knows how he got rich, then it doesn't matter where you place him. If he can repeat the exact strategies that landed him where he is today, then he will surely rise again. Question is, what if he doesn't know? You're now listening to Build It with Destiny OMAWILI, a weekly podcast where I share insights from God's Word, including proven life hacks to help you build your life in the way of success and absolute productivity. I am Destiny OMAWILI, the one blessed indeed. This is Destiny OMAWILI, and today I'll be talking about the power of consciousness. The power of consciousness. You see, it is important you review yourself daily. Recognize what you are doing that you shouldn't do. What you are doing that you need to do more. As well as what you aren't doing that you need to do. This is only possible with consciousness. Consciousness refers to awareness. It is a state where you understand what is really going on around you. Many don't take our time to review their lives, how they spent their day, why it worked or didn't work. You know, you have to review your life. Like, sit down and I'm going to talk about these. I'm going to talk more about these as I go about this episode. But then just take note of the fact that you have to review your day. You have to review your life. How did you spend the day? What did you do? What did you do that really boosted your productivity? And what was that thing you did that limited you? I don't know if you are getting it. I'm sure you are. So you cannot achieve much if you don't work in consciousness. Yeah, you cannot achieve much if you don't work in consciousness. The reason for repeated unproductive days, the reason why people keep failing to manage their usage of time properly and thus continue living poorly is because they fail to recognize the wrong steps they took and thus do not do anything to avoid them. You know, you can't avoid what you don't know. Another reason is that they fail to improve or amplify the right steps they took. The wrong repetition is bound to happen where there's no consciousness of what to avoid. I said the wrong repetition. You know, there's the right repetition. When you do something, you see that something really boosted your productivity, you have to repeat it. That's the right repetition. But the wrong repetition is bound to happen when there's no consciousness of what to avoid. Equally, the right repetition will never happen if you don't know what to repeat. So you see why consciousness is very important. But if we recognize, so I said the wrong repetition. The wrong repetition is bound to happen when there's no consciousness of what to avoid. But if we recognize them and stay conscious of the fact that they are to be avoided, then it will be very difficult for us to give in to those mistakes. But like I said, you cannot avoid nor improve what you aren't aware of. Consciousness matters a lot. Okay, for example now, there's something called the 2-day rule. I'm going to talk more about it in another episode, but for now, just know that it's about you. The habit. Let's say you want to form an habit, you want to develop an habit. The concept here is that don't fail to carry out that activity twice in a row. I don't know if you're getting it. Let's say you want to develop reading a book every day. So let's say you started today and then you read the book today and tomorrow you fail to read the book. The 2-day rule simply the concept now is that don't fail to read it the next day. So if you fail to read it tomorrow, don't fail to read it the day after tomorrow. Because if you, this is why it's so important. The 2-day rule is so important. I'm already talking about the 2-day rule. This is why it's so important. If you fail to do something twice in a row, there's a tendency for you to still to still be inconsistent the next day, to still fail to do it the next day. This 2-day rule, it really works. It really works. It really works. But then, let's relate this now with consciousness, because that's the reason I brought it up in the first place. The 2-day rule won't work for me without consciousness. Let me explain. The 2-day rule won't work for me until I stay conscious of it. Don't worry, you're gonna get this. And of course, beyond staying conscious of that rule, I must be conscious of the habit I want to be consistent in. I just made mention of you reading a book. You have to be conscious of you have to be conscious of that habit you want to create, reading books daily. So you must be conscious of whether or not you did it that day. I hope you're getting it. This is important. Remember, I'm talking about the power of consciousness. So let's say for example now, I failed to carry out that activity, that habit I want to develop, which is reading books every day. That, let's say I failed to read the book today. And I'm trying to build an habit here. You're getting it? So let's say I failed to carry out that activity now. The 2-day rule won't be helpful unless I realize I missed one day. So if I fail to read the book today, the only thing that will stop me from repeating it tomorrow. Remember, I talked about the reason for repeated unproductive days is because we failed to recognize the wrong steps we took. So if I fail to realize, I've missed one day, and if I don't stay conscious of the fact that this is what the 2-day rule entails, that if I miss today, I'm not supposed to miss tomorrow. Funny enough, I'm still going to miss it tomorrow. So I must realize that I've missed one day for me to avoid it the next day. And when I do that, when I'm conscious of the fact of the 2-day rule now, I'll be alert. There's this form of seriousness. There's this push in you to walk in the light of what you are conscious in. There's this push in you to do what you are conscious of. Take advantage of consciousness. You have to. It's very important. Another mistake most people make is that they fail to follow their plan. That's really bad. Okay, before I will talk about planning, let me say this. I'm a graphic designer, and there's this is something I want you to get. I'm a graphic designer, and when I undertake projects, especially the ones that are due for delivery, and it seems like I'm not getting what I want, I just couldn't get myself to go attend to other stuff. Okay, in case you didn't get it, let me repeat myself. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a graphic designer. So, when I have a project, and it's just like ideas are not coming, it seems like as what is called creative block. And it seems like ideas are not coming. The thing there is that I couldn't get myself to go and attend to other stuff. Funny thing is that I know I'm not supposed to sit there and waste my precious time. And that's one thing each and every one of us must tackle to maintain consistent and optimum productivity. That is you doing what you know you ought to do. Most times the issue isn't ignorance. People know what to do, but don't do what they know. Let me take that again. So I said people know what to do, but don't do what they know. They said the moment you take a break and step back from the problem might just be the time where the solution occurs to you. The fact that you stop actively trying to solve a problem gives a break to your brain and let it run in the background. Subconsciously, you are making a series of insightful connections, and without even realizing, ding, an idea pops in your head. I knew about this. I knew it, but I ignored it. And that really affected me big time. But then I realized that error, pen it down, and decided to avoid it. I must learn to write things down. Like my pastor, said something. He said, "Writing makes an exact man. Writing makes an exact man." You have to learn to write. You have to learn to write, because when you write something, you can always go back to it. So I had to first of all, I recognize it. That's consciousness, and then I pen it down, and of course proceed to see that I don't repeat it. Of course, it's not something that will happen in a day, but you have to maintain that part of seeing to it that you don't repeat that mistake. When it seems like it is happening, stop yourself. Because it's not like, I've recognized it, so automatically, you just stop, instantly, you just stop. That's a lie. It's not gonna work like that. You have to discipline yourself. That is where discipline comes in. When it seems like it's happening, stop yourself. That is the important part. You being able to stop yourself. There are two how will I put this now? This is how we really work in success. If we are able to bring ourselves to do what we know we ought to do, and also if we are able to bring ourselves to stay away from those things that we know we are not supposed to do, that's very important. You have to cultivate that habit. So and then you should have a strategy to go about this. For me, I gave myself a time budget. I allotted a certain duration of my time for my graphics project, and it's a principle. It's a principle. Yeah, it's a principle. Principles are very important. You can't actually live a successful life if you don't have some principles that are actually regulating how you go about your life. You must have maybe for example, now someone will say let me use something Pastor Joel Hostin said. He said before I meet with anyone, I must first of all meet with God. That's a principle. A principle could be, I'm not allowed to come to come online. I'm talking about social media. I'm not allowed to come online until a certain time. I'm not allowed to come online in the morning. That's a principle. You have to have a principle. It's very, very important. And of course, so I said you have to have a strategy. Like for me, I decided that I'm only going to spend 1 hour in my graphics project. So it's not like, so once that time has elapsed, I'm to stop myself. And of course, once again, it's not really something that's easy. You have to get yourself. Even if you fail today, doesn't mean you fail tomorrow. You have to keep trying. That's it. So I made mention of something earlier. I said another mistake you have been making is that you are not following your plan. That's very bad. And even worse is that you don't create a plan to follow. That is terrible. We have to have plans. You can't just afford to wake up and then just go about your day. There's something I call time plan where I know what I'm supposed to be doing at so and so time. So you get have a plan for your life. What do you want? Remember, like I said, it's not enough to have a plan. You have to follow the plan. You can't afford to miss out on other things just because of one thing. You can't afford to miss out on other things just because of one thing. What do I mean? I'm talking about planning here. So once you have planned your day, once you have said these are what I'll be doing, And then let me use myself for example. Now, I talked about me being a graphic designer, and when I have project, it seems like ideas are not coming. I couldn't get myself to let me just the time. That means following the plan now. The 1 hour time has elapsed. Now I have to go, maybe possibly rest or continue the next. Then of course you have to rest, and then go about the next project. But no, I would be there trying to come up with ideas on how to improve it. So that's bad. That's what I said. It really affected me. You can't afford to miss out on other things just because of one thing, no matter how important that thing is. That's an improper management of time. You wasted your day still if you spend it on just 1% of your plan. You have to treat all your plans equally. That's why it's called a plan. You get? It's one thing to create a plan, it's another thing to follow the plan. So that's really it. And so you have to double up the discipline to see that you are following your plan. For me now, if since the graphic since that I'm talking about the graphic design now, since it normally takes my time, so what I do is that I try to stay away from anything that will get me to start working on a project that day until the allotted time. Until the time I have planned that I'm going to undertake design projects. You get? So because if I, for example now, if I come online now, and I get to read a message from a client telling me to design something, pop, and I start designing that, especially when I'm emphasizing on that part, especially when the design is like, oh, I want it tomorrow. I might just start and then I forget about the rest of my plan, and that's really bad, like I said. So you wasted your day still if you just spend it on just 1% of your plan. It's not, don't deceive yourself. You it's not like I still did something. No, you didn't do anything. That's an improper management of your time. And so it is considered a mistake to walk into the mud the first time, but after which it becomes foolishness when it happens again. You get? The first time is a mistake, the second time is not a mistake, it's foolishness. So if you keep on repeating the same thing, and you continue to repeat the same thing if you are not conscious. That's why we're talking about the power of consciousness here. So for me now, like I said, it would be foolish of me now to keep on allowing to keep on allowing graphic projects to consume all my time. No matter how much I'm getting from it, I have to improve other aspects of my life. So especially when I'm designing now, when it seems like ideas are not coming, man, I have to just stop. I have to stop. That's it. Consciousness is super powerful. It's something you have to it's something you have to practice staying conscious of things. Practice learn to take our time to review each day before you go to bed, and meditate on your plans and future. Meditate on your vision. Don't just if you be able to retrace what you did that really you can tell when you really did when you used your time well. So if you can just discover the exact thing you did and then repeat it, man, that's it. So learn to take our time to review yourself, sit yourself down and review your day before you go to bed. And that's it. So much. And so if you find this helpful or you have a contribution, kindly let me know by commenting on this podcast episode. And also I would love you to help more persons to hear it by sharing the link on social media.
Thank you for listening to Build It with Destiny OMAWILI, a weekly podcast where I share insights from God's Word, including proven life hacks to help you build your life in the way of success and absolute productivity. I am Destiny OMAWILI, the one blessed indeed. See you in the next episode.